Hey everybody, it's Alex from Heavy New York. We are right now at this awesome rooftop bar across the street from Gramercy Theater for a change, and we are here with Schuylar of He is Legend. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, dude, Alex had to come find me at the rooftop.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's different for a change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the broken shaker on the rooftop of the Freehand. Let's
Yep.
give it a little plug.
Yeah. Fun fact: this was actually my college dorm back in the day. So,
Yeah, it's come a long way, baby.
and anybody who attended the School of Visual Arts, you know exactly what I'm talking about when he says a long way. But it's great to have you here, man. Your latest record, which is Few, which came out back at the tail end of 2017. How was the making of the record and the record cycle been thus far?
It's been great. Took a little time off, just kind of waiting around for tour and maybe, writing new material.
Yeah.
So Non-Point's been the first thing we've actually done since Guar last year. So we're kind of, just happy to be back out, on the road, ripping.
Going from Guar to Non-Point, I mean, you got to notice maybe a different audience in the crowd, right? Depending on who you tour with.
Yeah, we've had a few festival shows in between. We did the Shiprocked Fest on the boat, the Carnival Shiprocked Carnival cruise with Stone Sour and In This Moment, and done a lot of those active rock festivals. So Guar was definitely like a punk rock Kiss tour, like it was very, very fun. But yeah, the juxtaposition, the fans are a little different, not too different. We're seeing our fans are pretty strong to come out on things like this, so
Yeah.
it works well.
Yeah, it's funny because I've always thought that He is Legend had a very experimental style of music. Like a band like Non-Point is kind of in the sort of hard rock, new metal category. A band like Guar is crazy metal, but you guys seem to have a sound that could really appeal to multiple fans, right?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I think that our music is, essentially like, new grunge and whatever. I don't know. It's loud rock.
Yeah.
So, we can fit in with a lot of bands, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, in the making of new music with He is Legend, do you guys have like a preconceived idea of what you like to do, or being, as I mentioned, your music is very experimental, you just kind of let things happen organically?
Our format has never really changed. It's usually, Adam has the song structures kind of pulsing through him, and fleshes those out with like a, I guess, him and Jesse will be in the rooms and like flesh out the ideas, and then we all kind of come together, and the songs like are organically shaped in studio. Like you never really know what it's going to sound like in juxtaposition of the practice room to what we do in the studio, but we've been doing it this way forever, so it's
So at this point, you kind of have like a template, or you kind of know what to expect going in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, our music kind of gets formatted in a way that we, it's just been the same kind of way. Like when we know we're gonna write an album, we're in that mode, and it's kind of an easy process for it, like the way that it unfolds it's happened this way since we were young. Like we've been doing this for over a decade now, so
Yeah.
yeah,
And
we've got music making down.
Yeah, absolutely. I would certainly hope so in a decade,
Yeah.
But it's funny because, like, as you mentioned, your style is like new grunge. But when it comes to describing your music, I've heard fans say it all: mathcore, metalcore, hardcore. Like
It's all under the rock and roll umbrella, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Punk rock umbrella or what have you. I don't know. It's a different. I don't know. We grow, like we allow ourselves a lot of room for growth. So when we write a record, I think that we're kind of always going to make a He is Legend album. It's not like we're going to go off the rails, but we always have this like song that may or may not be a foreshadowing of what the band might sound like next.
Yeah.
So I think all of the time, like our music comes out, will always sound like us because our friends expect some sort of change or growth, or like, I don't know. I usually don't like to analyze it that much.
You kind of just let things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could drive yourself crazy sometimes doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, being the vocalist of He Is Legend, like, do you have to like hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or does sometimes like a lyrical concept ever determine the music?
Um, I don't. I mean, I write a lot. I read a lot. I think those are really the best ways to prepare for lyric writing, I guess. However, I don't like. I rarely write something down and say this has to be in a song. It's kind of a like a fluid movement towards the music. Usually, the music like kind of opens up a door to what the song will be about. Um, I like to work that way better. I like to use the vibe that Adam has created to like tell a story. Usually,
Yeah.
um,
And the music helps you think of that story.
yeah. Usually it's. I mean, like listening to our like reading the lyrics or what have you. I always try to make a story out of it. Like I like the fairy tale aspect of like your Tom Waits or Nick Cave or Bob Dylan and those kind of songwriters. I don't know. I've always liked, rather than being like on the nose about it being about love or whatnot, than like you know kind of an allegory for it or whatever. I've always enjoyed that more.
Like an external metaphor.
Yeah. That to me is more important than like having it be catchy or kitschy or whatever sells pop music. I mean, at the end of the day, I like to write music, like write songs about that. Like I like for the lyrics to be about these things that push, emotion. It's always about love or loss, or that's every song, every good song.
Yeah. But if somebody were to interpret your music differently, like if a fan came up to you and told you that they saw this, which is completely different, do you have like a new outlook on that song afterwards?
Absolutely. I mean, I would hope there would be different ways to interpret things that are said like that. I mean, for me, that's why it's still kind of a magic art form. Like music is a very magical thing. I think people gain a lot from having something like mean something to you that maybe it didn't mean to the artist. Like I think that's why art's still created, why people are still into it. You want to know that people interpret it the right way, but you also want to see it be interpreted different ways. It's like when you like translate words from English into or from like any language into English. Sometimes it's lost in translation, but sometimes there's like a little clever
Yeah.
serendipitous accident that the words turn into something else that means something. I don't know. I've always so fascinated with that. I love
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
like
what they
that.
said was actually the case with all the different religions. It's like everybody believed in the same thing, and it was just the translations.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
different translations through it.
I think that's probably very accurate.
Yeah. Now, one thing I was curious about, I forgot. Are you from North or South Carolina? North. Yeah. So, I mean, the Carolinas in general, whether North Carolina being home to Between the Buried and Me and Nile coming from the Carolinas, was there like a metal scene that you kind of affiliated yourself in North Carolina, or did He Is Legend kind of have to go outside their state lines to get the name out there?
No, we grew up basically playing with a bunch of Carolina bands and listening to a bunch of bands. I mean, usually like that East Coast scene was like for us, obviously like Between the Buried and Me, Beloved. There was a band called House of Fools that we played with all the time. Classic Case was like good buddies of ours. But yeah, we grew. Code 7 was another band we like idolized. We loved them so much. Cave In, I guess they were from up north, but
Yeah.
they
Rest
were
in peace.
yeah. They were one of those bands that we just like kind of kept our eyes on and tried to play shows with all the time if we could. But yeah, North Carolina definitely had and still does have a spot on like rock scene. It's always been really cool. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We played with a lot of those bands. I mean, regionally too, like Norma Jean being from like 8 hours away in Atlanta. So There's a lot of bands that we affiliated with that were just like from the South and from around these areas.
Which is cool. It's like a very
Yeah,
interesting community.
regional rock and roll. You know, I mean, I think bands from around each other usually gravitate towards each other, especially if they're coming up in the same time. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of the bands that you just mentioned. It almost seems like the East Coast, like every band knows each other. Like Nonpoint coming from Fort Lauderdale. Yeah,
Right.
I know that they're close with Hatebreed, which is close with Lamb of God. It's just, it seems like every East Coast state has something that makes it special in the world of rock.
It's true. It's true.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'm proud to be a part of a music scene that's so strong. Like in our own hometown, we have Weed Eaters from there. ASG is from there.
Oh, we just spoke with them earlier.
So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. It's like we have a huge rock scene in Wilmington, and Merge Records is from Durham, like Raleigh, Durham area. Like there's a ton of amazing music still coming out of North Carolina.
Which is awesome. And before we go, I wanted to thank you so much for your time. And thank you for inviting me to this awesome rooftop bar.
You're welcome.
It's great to see that my old haunted college dorm actually made something.
It's a beautiful spot. I usually find little gems when I travel, and
yeah,
I'll have to put this one in the book. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, most metal musicians, they're always going after Duff's or Lucky 13 or St. Vitus, but like,
nah, man, you'll find me on the roof playing Rasta. I love it.
Yeah, let's just hope it doesn't downpour very soon.
Right.
Yeah, but just Few is out now. It's been out for about a year. What could we be expecting from He Is Legend? Is there anything that's you could talk about or?
There'll be some cool news coming out soon. Yep. I'm sure if you pay attention to the social sites. I think I'm sure there's some stuff out there that people will be excited about soon.
Awesome.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Awesome. But thank you so much for your
Alex.
time, Schuylar.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody, we are here with Schuylar of He Is Legend. Pick up Few if you haven't already. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time. Now let's drink on this awesome rooftop bar.
That's true.